Hello, everyone, and welcome to Indie Game Arcade podcast, all about indie games. And this episode, it's Halloween. So we're talking about RetroRealms Arcade, Halloween, and Ash vs. Evil Dead, along with a few other indie gems like Kill Knight and Diceomancer. My name is Chris.
I'm Joseph.
Hopefully you were prepared to talk about Diceomancer, because I don't know if I told you, like, hey, I still want to talk about that one too.
Am I prepared? No, but I did play it, and I got pretty far into it in the one run I did, so I can say words. Yeah. It just wouldn't be like an all-inclusive thing.
Sure, yeah. I probably played about as much as you did, so we'll see how that gets there. And I did not get very far into Kill Knight. I'll explain why, but we'll go ahead and start here with our main topic here for RetroRealms Arcade. This was released on October 18th, 2024, developed by WayForward Technologies and published by Boss Team Games. For a quick description, step into a 16-bit pixel art world filled with gory good fun as horror legends Michael Myers and Ash Williams slice and shoot your way across multiple levels of terrifying platformer action filled with familiar sights and sounds from the original Halloween film and STARZ television series Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's really, really interesting. How much of this, I know you didn't get a chance to play it, but how much of this have you seen?
I have seen enough to know that they are side-scrolling platformers. I've seen that you can unlock Laurie Strode in the Halloween game. I've seen that you can cross over the games. You could be Ash in the Halloween game or Michael Myers in the Ash game. Essentially, I just saw that what RetroRealms is like a kind of hub for games, not necessarily a game itself, as far as I understand.
Yeah, that's correct. So you can get the RetroRealm Arcade, and then you got to buy the games, which there is only 2 games. It's just the Halloween and Ash vs. Evil Dead. That's all they have at the moment, which makes me wonder if they're planning on doing more of these. Which I've got a couple that I would love to see.
I would almost guarantee that they are, but I think the only thing that was holding me back from it, at least initially, is the price point.
Yeah,
because it's and I understand why they're this pricey, because obviously they're purchasing the franchise, not purchasing the franchise, but getting rights to make this franchise into a game. They can't just do it for free, so they've got to pay those costs, and in turn we, the consumer, need to pay a little bit more to get that. So I understand why it's like this, but for me, these games don't seem like they are long enough for me to want to pay $24 or $25 per game, because if you were to get the full bundle of both the games and I guess the hub itself, then that's almost $60 that you're spending on these 2 relatively short games, as far as I know.
Yeah,
and then maybe longer than I'm expecting them to be, though. So I'm unsure. I'm speaking from a point of just completely outside perspective.
Yeah, I will touch more on that towards the end, and if I think the price point's worth it. But you're not far off base, honestly. But one thing that I do want to talk about too, that I don't know if it's really shown that much in the trailers, the game trailers for these 2 games, because they really marketed the 2 games kind of separately, is that when you start up RetroRealms Arcade, it's really it's a 3D space that you can move around in, you're inside of this building. And when you first load in, you're in this tiny little room, and you've got the 2 arcade machines there. And there's a few other arcade machines that are covered up, which makes me wonder, are they leaving room to eventually reveal, another game under those? So you can then choose, you literally walk up to whichever arcade game you want to play, whether it's the Evil Dead or if it's Halloween. But after you play so much, there are these 2 other rooms that become available to you to wander into. One room is just this small little offshoot that has a little recliner and an old TV, a tube TV, and a shelf with all these VHS tapes on it. And most of the VHS tapes are just, whatever, they're just filled out. But there's this one shelf that's mostly blank. And as you progress through the game, you can start unlocking more VHS tapes that will show up that you can actually play on the TV. And what those are like videos of like behind the scenes stuff for the game. And I thought that was just kind of a cool little thing, like where you get to unlock little Easter eggs and different things to learn more about the development and the design and everything else. So I just thought that was a neat way of doing that. The other thing, and this will go with a little bit of the progression of this game and some of the incentive for you to keep playing, is a museum that unlocks that you can really move around in. And the museum portion of this 3D space is probably the largest portion. When you first walk into it, really, you're just seeing a bunch of pedestals with like shadows on it, and you can kind of see what is supposed to go there, but there's nothing there yet. As you play the games, you can pick up tickets within the games, and those tickets are a currency that you use out into this 3D space when you're not playing. Those tickets you can basically redeem to unlock sort of like trinkets to put on display, and those will then show up in the museum. Like the only one that I unlocked, because I didn't play very much of this, was the Michael Myers, like the Halloween jack-o'-lantern. So that's displayed in the museum. You can also get like Judith Myers' tombstone. You can get the knife. And with the Evil Dead side, there's like, you know, the shotgun, the boomstick. You can get the chainsaw. I want to say there's maybe a dozen things that you can unlock for either side and fill out your museum. So, I mean, that's kind of neat. But the games themselves, so this is the part of it I thought was really interesting, is that these two games are actually interconnected with the story and everything. And I was kind of wondering how they were going to do this, but how it goes is, and I think I'll start with Ash vs. Evil Dead, because there's like a certain reason. When you start up Ash vs. Evil Dead, there's this like big demon kind of dude that sort of like pops into Ash's trailer, and you get like a dialogue between him and Ash, and he basically steals the Necronomicon from him because he wants to summon these creatures from the place he's from, which is the Nightmare Realm, and summon the Deadites and everything to basically create a nightmare on Earth kind of situation. So he steals the Necronomicon and pieces out. Ash is like, I don't think so. I'm going to go out there and stop this guy, get my book back. So that is sort of the setup for Ash versus Evil Dead, is Ash getting his chainsaw on, going out into the world, killing all these Deadites and demons and everything, trying to track Overlord down and get the Necronomicon back. The way I think this connects to the Halloween one is that this same Overlord guy shows up in this insane asylum and pops into like a ward that Michael Myers is just like chilling in. And he basically tells Michael Myers, hey, guess what, dude? I am bringing all of my demons and stuff over into your world. It's going to be sick. I like you. I like what you do. You have a cool vibe. I'm going to unleash you, get you out of here. I need you to do as much chaos and destruction as you can. That would be real cool for me. That'll help me achieve the kind of stuff I want to do, just to make sure you do what I want you to do. I stole Judith Myers' tombstone, which I know is something you want, and I'm going to hang on to that until you do all the damage I want you to do. Then he pieces out. So that's how Michael Myers gets involved in everything. That's sort of the setup, but the gameplay itself, it's like you said, it's like a basic kind of platformer mechanics with like beat 'em up sort of sensibilities, just, slashing for Michael Myers. With Ash, there's still a lot of slashing because of the chainsaw, but Ash also has his boomstick, which is one of his special moves. So you're going through the platforms, you're defeating enemies, you are powering up and doing all kinds of different stuff. You're doing some puzzle solving. One of the big mechanics in this is that both Michael and Ash can shift into the Nightmare Realm, which is layered over our realm. So there's like certain places and items that can't really be accessed all the time, just in like the physical realm that you're moving through. So sometimes you'll have to shift over into the nightmare realm, which might have a slightly different layout, and then the aesthetic's totally different. It's like super gross and grotesque. It kind of looks like you're in hell or something. And that's like only for like a few seconds. It's kind of on a timer. So you might have to shift into the nightmare realm, like hop up a few different platforms that weren't there in our world. Then it shifts back and you can get to whatever you needed to get to. The downfall to that is if you traverse somewhere while you're in the nightmare realm and you shift back, you might shift back like right into an enemy, which sucks because that happened to me a lot and that got kind of annoying. But for the most part, though, the gameplay mechanics feels really good. You can also like wall jump. For Ash, he can kind of like jump down and do like a jumping attack with his chainsaw and sort of bounce like Shovel Knight when he hits enemies, which feels really good when you can get a couple of those in a row. He has a little bit more agility and he's a little faster than Michael is. Michael's slower and Michael has to really get in close to the enemies to take them out. So that's kind of like where things differ a little bit. Out of the two, I liked Ash's play style better.
What are you even fighting as Michael Myers? Like, so you're working for the demon guy. Are you fighting just people, like cops and stuff, or what?
In the first level, it's mainly like other psychopaths and stuff, like in this asylum that are coming out. There's also like some nurses and stuff that you'll take out. But every once in a while, there are some like demons and things that get in your way, and you pretty much kill them too. So it seems like Michael just kind of doesn't care. He's like out and he's just going to kill whatever. So whether it is the Overlord's dudes or it's like regular people, Michael's going to kill everything. So he just doesn't.
I mean, that tracks.
Yeah,
I guess.
He just doesn't seem to care. He'll kill whatever. Whereas Ash is, it's all like deadites and demons for him.
Right,
so.
Right. Okay, well, on the opposite side of that, if you can play as Ash in his game, then are you going to be murdering the same psychopaths and stuff in the process?
I don't know. I haven't tried switching them yet. But
okay.
I think from what I understand, I literally think, it would just be Ash going and killing everybody. Like, I don't think the game itself really changes. I think you can just be the different characters. So Ash might be going and just killing random people.
That's interesting. I mean, I could see some promise there.
Like we were talking about, swap out other characters, including Laurie Strode and Kelly Maxwell. But both of those, they're not unlocks. Those are like DLC characters that you have to pay for. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
So what is the money for that you're getting in the game? Like, what do you purchase with that?
There's like a currency in both games that you can use to, like, if you get so much, once a level ends or you get to the end, you can basically upgrade or do unlocks and stuff. Some of those upgrades might be being able to stay in the nightmare realm longer, upgrading your health, shorter downtimes for your special moves, things like that. So there's that. It's not like money. Like for Michael Myers, it's candy corn.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know your least favorite Halloween candy. So
it's the worst.
Yeah,
it's the worst Halloween candy.
Exactly.
I will take black licorice over that any day.
Yeah. So those are the unlocks and stuff. That's what those are used for. Is upgrading your kit. You can unlock more moves. You can unlock more weapons, which, like, I don't know that those are, like, unlocking more weapons are really necessary. But anyway, the platforming and everything, the gameplay really is fun. And the soundtrack is top notch. The sound effects are really good, really crisp, especially like the sound effect on Michael's knife is just, it's so crisp and satisfying when he slashes. Obviously, you've seen the art. The pixel art is really fantastic. Every time you kill something, the amount of pixel blood splatter is so over the top. It's just everywhere, and that gets pretty fun. So I really enjoyed that part of it, and all the character designs and stuff are great too. But I did have a really good time playing it. I had a blast. I know there's some people that say there's a really incredible difficulty spike a few levels in, but I only played the first level on both games, so I didn't encounter that. I think with the amount that you can upgrade yourself, I feel like that should be able to counterbalance some of that, but that's not to say it doesn't get way more difficult. It might. But the thing is, as much fun as I had, the asking price is so much. So there's only like, I think I want to say it's only like 5 or 10 levels per game, and they're like short levels. So it's like, I think it's 5 really. So they are very short games. And for $25 each, you're basically paying like $5 a level, which is kind of insane to me to think about, So here's what I would do. I would recommend this game if you're a fan of these properties, and if you're just a fan of platformers and hack and slash games, but only if you can find this thing on a really good sale. It's worth playing. It's a lot of fun, but the price for it is, I think, kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting barrier to bring up, because looking at the game, and I was watching some videos on it, or not videos, but I was watching the trailer thing of it while you were talking about it, just to see some of the gameplay, like the loop of it.
Yeah.
And it looks really good. And like artwork is great. The combat looks fun, and it looks really smooth. So I think it's probably a really good game, but having that price point over it you're paying not necessarily for the game itself, but for the novelty of it. You're paying for the franchise, you're paying for Halloween, you're paying for Evil Dead, and whatever else they come out with. I think Way Forward, the developer, are the people who did Shantae, the Shantae games, the genie girl. And so like their pedigree is great already. I have no doubt that these games play well. Even like looking at them just now, I've almost convinced myself to just buy it on the spot. I'm like, oh, it looks so fun. And especially the fact that there is most likely going to be other stuff, other franchises that come with this. So my concern would be if people are so held back by that price point that they don't like make their money back or something. And I'm sure they have it all figured out. I'm speaking with no like knowledge on this matter. I'm just saying, like, I want to support them because I want more of this to happen. I want more of these franchises to come out. I would love to see like a Freddy versus Jason thing, or even like separate games that they can cross over into.
Sure.
Like seeing a 2D Jason platformer would be so cool. Like I would love that.
Yeah.
And so just the fact that they made it with Michael Myers, that would be the last person I would expect them to make a platformer with, and seems to have pulled it off successfully, means like the sky's the limit. So I'm very excited about the opportunities here. And so I want to say, like, if you can afford it, if you've got the pocket change for it, like this seems like, and it's a type of game you would enjoy, then I would encourage you to purchase it. But also like make sure it's something you can afford, because it is a high asking price.
I would like to see, and I don't know how they would do it, but there is a small film franchise that I don't think we've really ever seen a game or anything else really with it. I would love to see somehow intertwined with this, which is Reanimator. I think that would be really interesting. And what got me thinking about that is when you get like health or something, like as you're killing things, there are drops and stuff. And I don't remember if I noticed it on the Ash vs. Evil Dead side, because sometimes the drops look different depending on what game you're in. But on the Michael Myers one in Halloween, whenever an enemy drops health for you to pick up, it's in the shape of a syringe with like a green liquid in it. So that made me start thinking of Reanimator, and I'm like, oh, dude, that would be sick if there's a way to get that in there. I feel like with like, the Overlord
you definitely
stuff,
play as Dr. Herbert West, and I guess just be killing reanimated corpses. I mean,
there's tons of
reanimated
reanimated
I can understand.
corpses already in there, so it's kind of, I feel like it could fit the vibe of this pretty well. So I think that'd be fun.
And it plays pretty fast and loose with gameplay stuff, or with like the lore of the games, obviously, because
easily.
Michael Myers is not jumping around and, diving off stuff. So it's like a cartoonish version of it, but it still looks very fun. Like, I would love for them to cover a ton of different franchises.
Yeah.
And if they're sticking specifically with horror, then they've definitely got my money.
Yeah, I had a blast with it. I just wish that it didn't feel so gatekeepy because of that price. Because there's so many people that aren't going to play this because of that.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if it would have been a better idea to put like a higher price on the system in general, the hub, and then each game is only like $5. So you're paying the bulk for the hub of it, knowing that like every game that comes out afterwards is going to be $5, and with the promise of
more
future
games.
So it's like, okay. Yeah, and even if you're paying the exact same amount as you would right now, maybe that would be an easier thing to kind of trick your mind into being like, okay, this is fine because there's more that's going to come out, and $5 a game is not bad. But I don't know.
If they drop them down to like
maybe
12 or 14 each, I think that is a more accurate price for what these games are worth.
Yeah, but you got to cover those franchise costs, man.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. But I don't want to like harp on that too much. Just like if it seems like your type of game and you can afford it, just go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, I had a great time. So if you can afford it, if you want to afford it, you should play it.
I'm probably going to purchase it right after this call, actually, because the more I'm seeing of it, the more I'm into it, and the more you've talked about it. So that was all I needed, was to hear someone's actual opinion on it.
Right. So the second game that we were going to talk about is Kill Knight. This was released October 2nd, 2024. This was developed and published by PlaySide. And for a quick description, Kill Knight is an ultra-responsive, arcade-inspired isometric action shooter condemned to eternal sufferance. Deep within the voids of an eldritch arena, you must wield an arsenal of devastating weaponry to obliterate swarms of otherworldly horrors and master the demon within. As far as
it kind of just seems like you're a knight that was banished to hell, and your goal is to slay the last angel, I guess, who banished you there.
Yeah, basically.
That's the long and short of it.
Yeah, that is essentially it. Like, the story doesn't really have any, I don't know, much agency from what I understand of the game. But I say that from somebody that never got past the first level. So I can't really comment too much on it. So lead me through.
So this one is one that I've invested a decent amount of hours in, not like too long. I don't even think I've played like 10 hours of it, like maybe like 6 to 8 or something like that. But it's so fun once you get into the groove of it. It is incredibly punishing, but that, if you're the type of person that I am, then that just drives you to want to play more and be like, okay, I got this. I can do this. I can do this. And you just kind of keep psyching yourself up for it. This is the first game I've played in a long time that has made my thumb sore. Like,
I believe
moving the joystick around. Yeah. And because like you have to be so like in touch with what's going on in the game, so responsive to it, because those enemies, even the basic enemies, can just like wipe you out quick if you're not careful.
Yeah, explain the mechanics.
This is a top-down twin-stick shooter, bullet hell type game. So think about the way that Hades plays, except like Hades times 10 or 11. Hades turned up to 11 because 11. It is like the hardest difficulty, or the hardest, like, I don't know, challenge on something like Hades, just from the perspective and the way that bullets are coming out you, like, but constantly. And you don't get a break in between. You don't finish rooms after 2 minutes or whatever and then get a break and then move on to something else. Like, you're going for about 10 minutes. I would say each level lasts about 8 to 10 minutes depending on how fast you're like going through the enemies, but you have to be on top of it all 10 of those minutes. The only break you get is when you like wipe one kind of wave, but then the next wave pops up immediately. And the reason that's important is because if you're trying to go for like a higher score or whatever, or trying to unlock some of the weapons that are locked behind certain like skill achievements, then you need to keep your kill count up, and that kill timer goes down pretty quick. It's like your kill combo. So think about like, in any kind of game where you've got to keep your combo going by keeping your hits going. In this game, you have to make sure you keep your kills going. So it's not just, you can't just shoot your gun at an enemy that's like soaking up all your bullets, because you're not getting kills in the process. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to turn around, shoot like a weak enemy, then refocus on the other thing. And you got to keep it going so you can keep your score up, because the moment you drop out of that, like it just kills your flow. And that doesn't mean you lose the level. It just means like you lose both the bonus points you're getting and the bonus damage you're doing because of the combo you had going. So there's that. Your basic weapons are like 2 pistols or of different sorts, and I don't know how many there are different sets of those pistols, but you can unlock different ones as you go through, and that's your general fire weapon. But then you've got your heavy weapon also, which is like your heavy weapon ammo loads into that after you get melee kills. So you've got a melee weapon as well. So in most cases, it's going to be like a sword or a giant sword or whatever. And your heavy weapons are going to be like a shotgun or a mortar or like homing rockets. I haven't unlocked everything, so I'm not sure what all there is. But I would say there's probably like 5 to 10 of each of those different things. And you can unlock different armor sets that do different things. Some of them will give you more dashes, but be like weaker, so you won't be able to take as many hits. Some of them will be like heavier, but you get less dashes, so you can tank more hits, but you won't be able to dodge out of the way of things as easily. And you're the whole time you're doing this, like you're also charging up like a super meter, and that lets you like shoot something with or that's what lets you use your heavy weapon, your shotgun, mortar, whatever. And you've also got your reloads that if you use your melee off of your reloads, then you can do like a sword spin, or depending on what your weapon is you've got equipped, your melee one, or you do the charge that like grabs all of the red, I guess, crystals that the enemies drop, and that's what charges up your super weapon. So there's a lot to it. Actually, there's not a ton to it, but thinking about all of that while you're in combat it can be like tough to remember every single thing you can do. Yeah. But once you get into the flow of it, I'm telling you, like, you will be like, okay, I know I'm going to kill this enemy here. I've got my special saved up. I'm going to save this for this next wave that I know is coming. I'm going to melee kill these guys so I can recharge my heavy ammo so I can shotgun this guy. And it's like all of this starts to flow so well together that you feel like amazing when you actually finish runs. And just to like set the stage for you, say you haven't finished like the first level.
Yeah.
And I don't know what difficulty you're playing on, but there's like Regret is the easiest difficulty. Acolyte is the normal one. And there's Hard and there's Nightmare after that
Acolyte.
You have to unlock.
Yeah, Acolyte.
Okay, yeah. So I've been playing Acolyte the whole time, and I'm on level 4 now out of 5.
Okay.
And just to set the difficulty stage, like achievement wise, as of when we're recording this, I am in the top, or I'm one of the only 5% of players who have beaten level 3 on Acolyte difficulty.
Oh my God.
So that shows you just how challenging this game is. It's been out for almost a month now, and Jeez. I'm still in the top 5% of people who are playing on the normal difficulty. I'm not even playing on the hardest one, but only 5% of people have actually beaten that level.
That's
level
insane.
3 out of 5.
Do you? Yeah. Okay, let me ask you like something. I want a real honest answer. Do you think that maybe that's an indicator of them not having an accurate difficulty scaling system?
I don't know what the difficulty scaling, like, I don't know how like much difficulty drops down to if you were to go to Regret, the easy one. I don't know how much easier it gets.
Sure.
I think you come into this game, though, knowing that it's hard. Like, you come into this game because you like that type of game. Because if you don't, then you're not going to have fun. Because if you aren't willing to overcome the high ceiling here, then you're just not going to have a good time with this. use the Steam return policy. Like if you're going to play for less than 2 hours and know whether or not it's the type of game for you. I've been playing for about 6 to 8, whatever, and I'm loving it. So it is the type of game for me. But if you don't like it in the first hour, just return it or whatever. But I think like people who are the same type of gamer as I am and just enjoy that kind of challenge, like you're going to have a great time.
I will say this, as someone that struggles with a high difficulty like that, I still manage to have a good time with it. It's just not a game that I know I'm going to excel in, but I dropped in, tried to start it without doing the tutorial.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, it was a horrible mistake. That was like I was trying to do the Game Grumps way and completely ignore any tutorials, just start, which is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. I got wrecked in seconds and I was like, well, all right, I'm going to go through the tutorial. Went through all that. That tutorial is fantastic and it made me understand so much. And then I went in, started the run, still felt like I got wrecked a few times, but each time I played it again, I lasted longer. And I think I tried maybe 3 times. And that third time, I lasted a really long time. So it felt really good. And you get a leaderboard too, like every time you finish. There's a leaderboard, so it shows like where you rank among everyone else that's playing that. And I went from, I think the first couple times I played it being pretty far down in like the 3,000s something. But the last time I did it, I shot up like 1,000. So I was like in the 2,000s or something. So it's just like, the more you play it, it's kind of nice seeing your improvements that way. Just, I don't really care too much about how everyone else is doing, but it was kind of nice to see some data that shows like, holy crap, like you did start getting the hang of it. Here's like how much better you got. The premise is simple. It's a tiny little map that you're running around doing this and you're kind of kiting things around as you're taking it out. But there's a lot of different attacks and things that you can do within that, but you do enter kind of this little flow state once you get your groove going. And as much as it can be really hectic and it will make both your thumbs hurt since you're having to use both joysticks at once, it gets really fun.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you're one of those like score chaser kind of people, like there's the appeal here for that. It feels very arcadey in that way, but it is, I think, like, I don't care necessarily about where I rank. I just want to say I finished it. If I can say I finished all 5 levels on Acolyte or higher difficulty, I will feel really good about that.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be first place or anything like that. I just feel like if only 5% of people have finished the 3rd level on Acolyte, I can only imagine like what it looks like for 4 and 5. I'm so close to finishing 4. I was so close and I got robbed right at the end. Because that's the thing, like when you do your first run through something, you don't know what's coming next. And so like sometimes it'll be laser traps or whatever all over the place and a big enemy will spawn on the other side and he'll be blasting you with something. So you got to be like ready for anything. And even once you know what the wave is going to be, that still doesn't mean things are going to move exactly the same way or you're going to get the right shots off at the right times. You kind of have to be ready to adapt to anything. And if you enjoy that type of like hectic gameplay, that bullet hell type of gameplay, then I think this is a high recommend for me.
Yeah, if you like to be punished, then this is a game for you.
Yeah, if you're a masochist of a gamer like myself, then you will absolutely enjoy this.
Yeah, it looks really good though. Like it looks good. The music's super, super good. So you feel pumped up when you're playing. So it's a good experience. It's definitely not for everybody. It's not the kind of game for me that I'm going to keep playing, but I do want to try it just a couple more times just to see if I get any better at it. And who knows, maybe it'll, get its hooks in me again, but it's pretty cool.
I think I'm going to record some gameplay of it because I have that first level like down. Like I think I could probably go without getting hit in the first level if I really was on.
Sure.
And it just feels so good. And it's like you said, like being in that flow state, that zen state of like, I know exactly what's coming. I know how to dodge it. I know what I need to do at all times. It's just that like awareness is really satisfying.
You should record that. I would love to see that. And we can throw it up on our YouTube where everyone listening can watch. And they can also watch me play the first levels of RetroRealms Arcade, as well as my first run of the next game we're going to talk about, which is Diceomancer, which was released October 10th, 2024. This was developed by Ultra Piggy Studio, which is a great name, and published by Gamera Games, which was, they were the ones that also published Shogun Showdown, from what I remember.
Yeah, I remember hearing that name.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
which was awesome. I loved Samurai Showdown.
That one's good. Shogun Showdown, Joseph.
Showdown.
Don't
Shogun. I know.
It's so hard.
No, we did it again.
I know. Diceomancer is a roguelike deck building game. Though you long for a peaceful life, you're forced to embark on an adventure. In this world of swords, magic, and guns, make good use of your dice and deck to find a way back to tranquility. What can the dice be used for? To change anything. So yeah, you just kind of want to go fishing, but there's an evil purple mist chasing you, and there's a bunch of enemies in your way, so you gotta take care of those. So you can...
As it does.
So you can go fishing.
As the purple mist does.
Yeah. So I played a run of this. You said you played one run of this too?
I did. I played one run of it, and I got pretty far, I think. And now that I understand like more of what's going on, I think I could probably finish a run depending on what they throw at me.
Yeah, I did not make it through the run because like I think I died, I want to say the battle before what would probably be the boss of that run.
Well, did you go, there are 3 maps.
Oh man, no. So I died right before the end of that first map is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to the end of the second map.
Okay.
So I got about 2/3 of the way through. You got 1/3.
I got
maybe.
1/3 of the way.
Yeah.
I didn't even make it all the way through that first third.
So did you fight the Scarecrow? Is that who the boss was on that first?
I did
spot?
beat the Scarecrow. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But it was, I think I died to some wolves right after the Scarecrow.
Oh, okay.
I believe it was these 2 wolves. I think it was wolves. I don't know. It was kind of hard to tell what they were. I think they're wolves.
Explaining the mechanics of this game is going to be challenging because it's like a deck building roguelike, yes, but the dice mechanic in it throws a real wrench in any kind of idea or plans that you have. Depending on like how you want to use them. And I guess like for me, I wasn't sure like what I should be using them on aside from lowering the enemy's health. That seemed to always be like the best option. And maybe it's because like this was kind of like your first run through is not going to be your hardest run through, obviously. As with most roguelikes, there's like more you can achieve or more challenges you can accept. So maybe that's not always going to be the best thing to do. But that's what I was using it for a lot, was like, because some enemies would come in there with like 250 health. And I'm like, no, I can't. I literally cannot kill you. So I have to re-roll your health. And that rolls a D6, and whatever you roll becomes their health pool. And so it's like, okay, now you have 1 health. Take that. Yeah.
So you've got like this one special thing along with a card called, I think it was called the 1 die. But yeah, lets you re-roll anything that you can see, like any number on the screen. So yeah, if you like, which is crazy because you get to a boss, like you said, that has tons of health, and all of a sudden you can be like, nah, you got 6 health. So, but like how they compensate for that is like almost every enemy has multiple health bars. So it's like, you can't just like, most of the time you won't encounter an enemy that's just got, let's say 200 health and it's just 1 bar and you do that. They'll probably have 3 bars of like, one is maybe 100 something, the other one's 60 something, the another one's like 40. So it's like you're limited on how many times you can use that.
Yeah.
It has
3
charges.
bars if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Some of them have like 6 or 7 bars. You're like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah. So it's not a complete cure-all for that. But sometimes it really will make the difference in whatever you're doing. I mean, otherwise you really got to rely on the cards you've got and being smart about it. But, you know, I was reading, I went on Reddit. I think it was a subreddit actually for Diceomancer. And I never thought about this. And somebody was talking about they were able to re-roll the rule, like one of the rules in the game, and they were able to change how many cards they draw each round. So yeah. I never thought of that. So there's like all kinds of stuff that you could do. I was like, what the hell?
Well, so yes, like there's a lot you can do with it. And I know like at some point, I wasn't to this point, but I know there's ways that you can like turn that D6 you're rolling into like a D20 eventually.
That's what they did. Then, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You've obviously got a higher percentage chance of like changing something into a higher number. The downside of that, I guess, would be like the enemy's health is also going to, you know, fluctuate along with that. So I don't know if you can switch back and forth between the D6 and D20 or how that works. But I just think the idea of having so much control over those like seemingly insignificant things could be really interesting. Like you can even re-roll the amount of money you have.
Yeah,
and that's so cool. Wild.
And I also want to point out like the artwork for this game is really good. It's all like hand drawn. Everything's animated in 8 frames. So it's kind of like this, even though hand drawn.
It's got like a classic cartoon kind of feel.
But like a rough kind of drawn in a way, like, you know, the lines aren't always smooth or anything. And that shows where like, it almost looks like everything's wiggling just a tiny bit. And it adds like a really nice charm to the game, and also the use of colors and everything too. Like everything's kind of a soft palette. None of it's dark. It's all very like mid contrast, which is kind of nice. So
it's got that first person perspective, just like you see in something like Dragon Quest or something, or at least the original Dragon Quest games. Maybe the new ones still do that. I'm not sure, but you're just seeing the enemy like standing in front of you. But what I do like is you don't just see like an explosion when you do a hit or whatever. Like you see your hand come out and like, I don't know, shoot a gun if that's the card you played, or you swing a sword. And that adds so much charm for me, because I'm normally not a big fan of like first person perspective games like that when they're RPGs. Like I prefer to see like either like a little sprite, my own little sprite down there or something. But this kind of makes up for it for me, because it's like, okay, I'm still getting to see some interaction from my character.
Though there's a few things about this game though that I did struggle with. Did you run into anything as well?
Struggle? No, it was more just like my limited understanding of what I was supposed to be doing at times.
Sure.
But that I just blame myself for, and it's like, okay, I'll figure it out eventually. So otherwise it's like, it was a pretty smooth run most of the way through. It wasn't up until I got to the boss of the second area that I was like, okay, this guy is maybe too strong for me, and I think I'm out of re-rolls that I get to use on things. So it's like I kind of just got into a trap.
So this is where like I struggled a little bit, was just there is a lot of status effects in the cards. And I think because there are so many, I sort of got, I don't know, like some of them just didn't act or do the things that I thought they were going to do based on like what I was reading. And I think that could be just me misinterpreting what was there, what was read. But that happened to me multiple times where I'd read something. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds really good. I'm going to, let's say, pick this card up. When, you know, you defeat an enemy, it lets you choose from some cards. And I'm like, this sounds great. I want to do this. And there's like a word that's highlighted. You can like roll your mouse over it to see what does this status mean that you can inflict. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Then I'll use that card and it does not do what I thought it was going to do. And I'm like, wait, what? I got this one card that was like kind of like an Uno reverse card, and it was to reverse it was supposed to reverse like the outcome or like the luck of a roll or something. And every time I used it, it never seemed to affect the enemy. It only usually seemed to affect me. and kept giving me bad luck. So then I was like, what am I not understanding about the use of this thing? Why would I want that as a reward?
If it's the card I'm thinking of, like, you get to choose like whether you give yourself good luck or bad luck with it.
Yeah. Okay. So that didn't like, did you get a screen for that? Cause nothing popped up for me. I would hit it.
I played the card and then 2 other cards would pop up and be like,
that's crazy.
You want to do good luck or bad luck? And I was like, well, good luck. Cause I don't think I'm in a build that I would want bad luck for myself.
That's interesting. So I do have this on video too of me like using that, but nothing popped up. So I was like really confused as to what would happen. But like, I remember one time clicking it and then like all of a sudden I just took damage and I was like, what the fuck? Like all of a sudden
sounds like a skill issue, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's probably a brain issue on me that I did something wrong, but these are the types of games I usually like the most. And I did enjoy a lot of aspects about it, but it definitely felt more complicated to me than most of them that I play, and made me feel like if I want to enjoy this game for all it's worth, I really have to like pause and really spend time trying to understand like every effect and exactly how that's going to work and exactly how I would use it in what situation before I choose a card or anything. And I think that concept to me of having to be so precise and take so much more time, which would extend the amount of time that you have to spend in the game to enjoy the game, like that kind of just is a little bit of a bummer for me in an otherwise like really cool game.
I feel like from my perspective that you might be overcomplicating it.
That's very possible.
Because I think it's pretty straightforward in what it's kind of giving you and offering to you. And when I say that, what I mean is like the enemies will have certain like effects that tell you literally what they're about to do. Like it'll be like he's going to attack, or if you use 2 skill cards and he's going to auto attack you.
Yeah.
And so what may have happened is like you may have been using skill cards and just gotten an auto attack from an enemy's counter thing that was up. But what I like is it tells you what's about to happen. So you have so much control over this game. And I think that's what makes it really interesting, is that you do have so much control literally over as much as even the numbers that you're seeing. Like if an enemy's about to do 12, be like, nah, I don't like that, and re-roll it to a 1 or something, you know?
Yeah.
And that kind of control is like super interesting and makes it a lot more dynamic. And you're not just like victim to whatever numbers are rolled most of the time. There are times where like, yeah, you'll run out of dice, or you won't have like a 1 dice card up to use. And so you'll be like, oh crap, like I didn't prepare for this. And those moments suck, but you're able to come back from most of these situations. And the whole time you're going through this, you're getting different artifacts you can place in your, really that go up at the top and like benefit you in some way. You can purchase different things from shops. You can find, it's got the basic roguelike layout where you choose the path out of like really 3 sort of different like paths you can take. And you can always, what's cool is like you can go back even or up or down as long as the purple mist doesn't catch you, but you get a few turns ahead of it. And then you're able to kind of like explore all around the area you're in instead of just going only forward. So again, it's an interesting mechanic this game adds that makes it stand out among other roguelikes or deck building roguelikes that are pretty straightforward. And that's not to say that the straightforward ones aren't challenging in their own ways, but this one adds a really unique mechanic that I think I want to dive more into just because I'm intrigued by it.
I do want to dive more into it, as you said, and understand it so that I get a better sense of what I'm doing. And I do want to play more of it. I just also want to turn my brain off a little bit more than what I did when I was playing it the first time. But
that's what Kill Knight's for.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of game. So, but overall, I enjoyed the experience. I just got kind of confused in a few parts, but I would recommend it if you're a fan of deck builders and I think the uniqueness of this one is really cool. Like you said, the idea of being able to change numbers and stuff on the screen is such a wild experience. And I think it would really make for like, everybody's going to have a totally different experience playing this because of that.
And it's got such a playful just attitude to it anyway. Like you're literally just trying to go fishing. Like that's your goal. And to escape the killer purple fog, I guess. Yeah. But mainly you just want to go fishing. That's all.
Yeah. And sometimes like some of the enemies you encounter is just like a goose, like a real angry goose in your way.
All those goose suck, man.
Yeah. That goose is so mean.
Weird thing that they counter so many of your moves.
Yeah.
But then like it'll go from a goose to like a giant gargoyle or something, or like what seems like a Evangelion type god looking thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I've run into some weird stuff in this game, but very enjoyable.
Yeah, it's really cool. As far as other indie games we've been playing this week, there's only one other one I got to play, which was I played more of Knock on the Coffin Lid, and I finally beat a run. Well, I beat a run twice. So that was pretty fun. I really had a good time with it. I'm kind of sucked into it, and I'm trying not to like just keep playing it so that I can try out other stuff. But that's pretty much all I got to do this week was play the games for this episode and then try some more Knock on the Coffin Lid.
Knock on the Coffin Lid can keep you occupied for a while.
Yeah, it can.
As it has me. Because like, okay, so you beat the boss, but did you beat the boss after that too?
No, I haven't beat the final boss.
Okay. I was able to finally do that. That's what I did this week when I played Knock on the Coffin Lid. I beat the final boss actually a couple times.
Is it the woman that kills you after your first run?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's that woman. Like she's the final boss. Unless you do a dark run, like that bar you have up at the top. Sure. That's like the light and dark side. Like if you go, if not complete dark, but if you are on the dark side when you get to that, you'll fight the wizard dude instead. I forgot what his name was. Yeah, you'll fight Mortis instead of the girl. Yeah, I haven't yet because like I've mainly been trying to just beat her, and I did that, and that was really cool. And what I liked about the post credits is like it tells you things like, because there's so much going on in this world. Like what makes it different from other roguelikes is the fact that like it's very story point driven, and like everything you do like has some kind of like effect on the rest of the run potentially. So it'll tell you things like in the post-credit scene that you kind of like missed or didn't understand what was happening. It'll say something like, you could have gained favor from the Goblin King if you'd brought him the Eye of a Golden Buffalo, or the bandits are only here because their path up north is blocked by the Dwarven Golem. And so it's like, oh, okay, so I needed to take this dude out so that would make the bandits leave. And then I need to give the Goblin King this thing so that he'll like me, and then I can do this other stuff. So it's these different paths you can kind of choose inside of each of the runs. I like it, and I'm also like a little torn over it because it makes it where it's like, okay, I want to just do a straight run through, but if I want to do this other thing, then I need to really follow this certain path instead of doing like kind of what I want to do. So I guess that all is to say, like, you can't do everything all in one run. You have to do like multiple runs. Even if you're beating the last boss, like you still have to do multiple runs if you really want to like get the most out of it or make some kind of completionist run. I've also unlocked the other two characters, and they're really fun to play. The second one is like an elven werewolf, so he's awesome. Yeah. And then the third one is some like a human archer girl, but she is like a I guess like a hunter kind of thing where she has like a pet with her. So the starting class of hers like starts with this boar, and he kind of takes hits and stuff for you. You can switch out between either you or him in the front, and that's what cards will be used depending on who's in the front of the pack there.
Oh, that's cool.
And so that is like everybody's mechanics are
changes
way
the gameplay.
Different. It completely does. The werewolf plays like so differently than Percival, and then she plays way different than either of them. So it's like 3 different games in one on top of all the stuff you already have going on in this game. So I get why this was being developed for so many years, because there's so much to it, and you could only play this game for months and still feel like I haven't done everything.
And that's why I have to stop playing, because then that's all
Moral
I'll play.
Of the story. Yeah.
So what else did you play?
So I played a few demos this week as well, just to try them out. So Creatures of War is the first one I tried because I was curious about this. It was a survival horror Metroidvania game where you play as this special ops dude who is investigating the disappearance of this Delta squad that got sent to this mysterious island to find the president's son who got like cast away there or something. And this mysterious island also happens to be like Jurassic Park, basically, where there's all these like experiments going on and all these dinosaurs everywhere. And so the horror of this game is like these terrifying dinosaurs that are after you like at all times.
Oh, cool.
And it's a side-scrolling game, and it's a little janky just because like, you know, the graphics are very basic and the movements look kind of funny, but the gameplay is surprisingly like solid for what it is and what it looks like. And it's got like a dodge mechanic to it. I think it was developed by maybe even the solo dev. I'm not positive on that, but I know like one person primarily is responsible for the majority of this, at least programming wise. And so I, you know, respect to them for that. The demo was maybe like 30, 45 minutes, something like that. I played through the whole thing. I enjoyed the time I spent on it. And right now it's on sale for $22.49, regular price of $24.99. I don't know if I'll pick it up because I'm not sure that I enjoyed it that much, but it could be something that is interesting to a fan of survival horror games in general, or Metroidvanias even. So it's a nice combo of both. I would say give the demo a shot and see what you think.
Yeah.
The second one I played was Voidwrought, and this one is like a 2D action platformer in a hand-drawn world of cosmic horrors is how it describes itself. So it's a Metroidvania with a lot of similarities to Hollow Knight, at least in the 30-ish minutes I played of it. And as far as like the appearance and gameplay feel goes, but it does have some unique mechanics that help set it apart. And the art just is great. Like it's really fun to look at while you're playing through it, and feels really good to play. The demo takes you up to the first boss, and the only thing I would say about it is like it feels a little like floaty sometimes, where like you're trying to land on a platform and you'll kind of just like slip off of it because you've got too much momentum going or something. And I'm sure that plays like a part into the actual gameplay at some point, but it gets a little frustrating when I just miss this thing I'm trying to jump on because I just was going a little too fast or something. But that's a small complaint. Overall, I had a good time. This one also on sale right now for $15.99, normally $19.99. The last one I played was Rogue Flight, which is anime Star Fox, basically.
That's
and what I mean by
attention.
that, yeah, is it's an arcade roguelite of an on-rails space combat shooter, which is what Star Fox is. So you're flying around like shooting things as they're coming towards you or as you're going towards them in that same fashion on rails. So the levels are going to be like the same as you go through them, but it had a really like enjoyable feel to it. I've seen some, you know, complaints about it, I guess, being the bosses are maybe too underwhelming at times. But, you know, the one boss that I fought, I had a good time. I just had to like shoot his engines off and do all this stuff. What I would say about it is like it feels a little hard to read what's going on sometimes because of the graphics are they're good, but they're just like stylized to the point where it's like I'm not sure if I'm shooting or being shot at right now. There were times where I was questioning that. And there's these special moves you can do that like spin your ship around, and I think that's like a screen wipe kind of thing for everybody else, but that felt a little weird to do. I would give this one another chance. I'll probably pick it up on sale once that actually happens. Right now it's $19.99, and that might even be worth the asking price as is. I just feel like I needed to get a little more out of the demo than I got to really make a decision there.
You had me at anime Star Fox, so
yeah,
I'm interested.
It feels like one of those old school animes too, like a retro anime, like
oh man,
I don't know, like OG, like Gundam Wing or something. As far as the art style,
that sounds great to me. I want to see that. So I'm gonna have to look that up.
Apparently, like you can customize your ship in a lot of different ways, and your weapons that your ship has on it. So I bet there's a lot to it. I just, maybe I'll warm up to it as I look into it more. But the demo, I was kind of like 50-50 on.
As far as games that are coming up and on our radar wish list or play calendar, I've got a few. In most of these, well, one of these I've been wanting to play for a while, and I just haven't gotten the chance to. And then the rest of these are something that are ones that I saw on the Indie Horror Showcase on Steam, which is going on right now. But the first one I wanted to talk about was Mouthwashing, which was one that I considered buying and doing for this episode, but I decided to do the RetroRealms one instead. But Mouthwashing is a narrative, kind of like an interactive fiction game. It's a group of space freighter workers stranded in the dead of space, and they slowly start going crazy when their food supply runs out. And all they've got left is what they were transporting with it, which is mouthwash. So it's pretty, man, I've seen it. It's crazy. I'm really excited to get my hands on it eventually and then play it, because I'm really interested in this story. And like, if you've seen the trailers and stuff for it, it looks kind of insane. As far as graphics and stuff, kind of PS1, PS2-ish sort of thing, kind of in line like with Crow Country from when we were talking about last week. But
no, I would disagree with that. I would say PS2.
PS2. Probably. Yeah, you're probably right. But I'm very, very interested in it. I really want to see it. So, but the Indie Horror Showcase on Steam right now, they've got a whole bunch of independent horror games right now that they're kind of showing off. So I picked out the ones that I was the most interested in, and I was going to just mention a few of them here. The first one was Project Songbird, which is a cinematic first-person narrative horror game set in the Appalachian forest. I believe you play like a musician or something who goes there to record an album, like in this like cabin, and then just shit starts going wild. And that just sounds cool to me, because I mean, if you know anything about Appalachia, like the stories you hear from the woods out there, no thanks, man. That place is scary. There's By Sweet Carol. This is one I've been seeing stuff about this for like a year, maybe 2 years, and I've been waiting to see when this is coming out. It's still to be announced, but I'm really looking forward to this one. This is a narrative horror game inspired by classic animation movies. It looks like a straight up like horror Disney film. If you haven't seen a trailer for this, please look up By Sweet Carol. It looks so good. The Thing Remastered, which is the remastered version of the game from 2002, which was inspired by the 1982 John Carpenter movie, The Thing. I never played the 2002 version because I never knew it existed. So knowing now that it existed, and I love that movie, and I know that's your favorite horror movie, I'm really interested to see what this remaster is going to bring. And like the trailer looks pretty decent too, so I'm very interested in it.
I did play the original one actually, and
how'd you feel about it?
I mean, it was fine. I played it so long ago, like I can't even remember really. It wasn't like my favorite game at all, but I think it served its purpose. Sure. But the remaster does look really good. Yeah. Just from what I'm looking at screenshot wise, I didn't even know it was coming out. But oh wait, yes I did, because it's on my wish list. Ta-da! So coming soon. Who knows when that is?
Yeah, I think almost all of these are coming soon that I listed here. Oh, never mind. There's 2 of them I think that are out right now or just came out today. The next 2 I've got We Harvest Shadows. This is a first-person farming sim that becomes a horror game. This one's so interesting because you are basically you move to this farm, you are farming, doing your thing. But then like, if you watch the trailer for this thing, it's like you're out there literally like setting up your farm, raising chickens. And then like you're shooting like some sort of monster running through like the cornfield at you, and you're locking the doors up. It looks pretty scary. I'm interested in that one. There's also Scarred. Scarred is a first-person atmospheric horror puzzle game which looks like it must have been made in Unreal 5 because it looks real. So either they did something really interesting with FMV or it's Unreal 5. I think it's Unreal 5. But it's like set in like a Taiwanese city or something. And I think you're in like a building that is haunted and you're trying to escape, from what I understand. Because it looks so realistic as far as the environment, I can't say for sure if like whatever creature or entity you run into will look at realistic, but because the environment looks so real, like I feel like that's going to be a spooky one. So I really want to check that out. The two that I think that are out now, like, or just released as of recording this, one is called Crowded Followed. So like crowded period followed. This is basically It Follows, but instead of getting followed because you had sex with someone, it's because you accepted a briefcase from like a cursed briefcase from someone. And then there's this big creepy demon lady that's following you, and which sounds like, you know, such a, I don't know, it kind of sounds like a lazy premise in a way, but like the game looks like it could really, I don't know, it could be really anxiety inducing. Especially the crowded part, because you're trying to like keep away from this thing, but you end up running into places that are full of people and obstacles and stuff while this thing is like hunting you down. So I'm interested in trying that one. And then the last one is called Life Eater. And this is a game of, it's like a interactive fiction, but with like choices matter and kind of, I think maybe a little bit of choose your own adventure. This one is basically like, if you don't kidnap or sacrifice your neighbors, the world ends. Or does it? What if you're just crazy? But what if you're not crazy? What if the world really will end if you don't do it? That's basically the premise of the game. So you're kind of the monster in this game. So yeah, it's interesting. What about yourself?
It makes me want to play more of the monster dating thing, Monster Prom.
Yeah,
games.
I do love those games. Those are all good.
I do want to call out one. I don't know when it's coming out this year, but it still says 2024, and it is horror adjacent in the closest way possible. The Toxic Crusaders beat 'em up game is coming out sometime this year. I just saw that there's a demo available for it now, so I'm going to download that and play that soon. But if you're a fan of the either Toxic Crusaders or Toxic Avenger movies or just trauma films in general, then this one should be a really fun time.
Yeah, this one's based off the cartoon big time.
Yeah, it's definitely based off the cartoon, but just if you're a fan of Toxie, like if you know kind of thing.
Here's some spooky games you can play right now that have been out for a little bit. These are probably my favorite horror games right now that I would recommend playing. First one is Blackout. This is a pixel art point and click adventure where you play as a girl dressed as a witch on Halloween, stuck in a house of horrors. And there is definitely some twists and turns in this one. It's really fun. The art is great. I don't know if it's on Steam. I don't think it is. There's like a billion games called Blackout on Steam, but I think you can play this one on itch.io, which I think is where I played it. And it was free, I believe. So no reason not to play it if it's free. Second one is World of Horror, a 1-bit roguelike investigative horror game with turn-based combat, very much based on Japanese urban legends and Junji Ito manga. If you've seen this one before, you already know what I'm talking about. It's hard to not remember this one. It definitely leaves an impression. This game is so sick, man. I love it. And I've not
played it, but I do want to.
Yeah, man, it's great. The last one is Slayaway Camp. This is a puzzle game based on Friday the 13th, but it isn't Friday the 13th. It just looks 100% like it. And it stars Skullface instead of Jason. This is basically a remake of the game that was called Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle, because Sean Cunningham exists and he tends to screw up everything having to do with Friday the 13th and licensing stuff. So Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle was a great game. And then I think Sean Cunningham kind of killed it from what I understand. So this other team was like, hey, let's just make it and we'll change some of the aesthetics and we'll name it Slayaway Camp. It's very good. If you like puzzles, you'll like this one.
It looks fun. Yeah. It's like you're playing as the killer and you're just trying to find a way
find a way to kill
puzzle
everyone.
to take out all the campers, I guess.
Yeah, it's great.
Fun.
If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor, share it with someone who loves indie games. And you can catch me playing some of the games we talked about, not at Patreon this week. You can catch it over on YouTube because I decided not to paywall this. You're gonna catch me playing a lot of these on YouTube from now on, but there is still lots of other stuff available over on patreon.com/nerdsloth. Hundreds of hours of things, bonus podcasts, bonus videos, all kinds of stuff. I'm still going to be doing special things each week for the Patreon. So head over there. We still have our bonus podcasts there too for the $5 tier. But that's game over for us this week. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
And we'll continue on the next episode. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Boo.
Toxic Crusaders, Toxic Crusaders.
Don't get us sued.
Indie Game Arcade is recorded and produced by Sloth Creative. If you're looking for more gaming content, head over to youtube.com/nerdsloth. For additional podcasts, go to nerdsloth.com. If you'd like to support the show, there are multiple tiers available at patreon.com/nerdsloth, with hundreds of hours of bonus content from everything we do at Sloth Creative, including bonus gameplay videos of the games we talk about on the show. The theme music for the show is Retro Game Tapes by Audio Lime. If you'd like to get in touch with us, or if you're an indie game developer and would like us to consider reviewing your game, send us an email to podcasts@nerdsloth.com with the subject line Indie Game Arcade.